Mental health on the minds of many right now as September marks Suicide Awareness Month. Health experts believe the pandemic intensified the mental health crisis across the state, as suicide remains the second leading cause of death for youth aged 10 to 18 years old. As News 13's Samir Nafsi reports, a state action plan could be the key to saving lives.
In 2020, just under 1,500 North Carolinians took their lives. While suicide remains one of the top leading causes of death for North Carolinians, the state health department releasing an action plan aiming to address the ongoing health crisis and reduce the overall number of deaths by suicide.
I think suicide impacts an entire community.
It remains a topic mostly unspoken about: suicide. The state health department releasing this action plan to help providers combat the crisis that claimed the lives of 1,436 North Carolinians in 2020.
I think it's very necessary to have an action plan implemented. I think in the wake of COVID, we've seen some mental health issues exacerbated.
Meredith Switzer with the All Souls Counseling Center believes the action plan tackles suicide in a way that hasn't been done before.
But I think if we're normalizing conversations around mental health, we can certainly start to address it in a way that we haven't done before, so that people are more comfortable talking about it. We recognize that it is a very serious issue and one that we want to make sure we are addressing in the mental health community.
The state identifying 7 focus areas to strategically reduce the number of injuries and deaths by suicide, like creating a network of prevention experts, reducing access to commonly used lethal means, and awareness.
And to have a plan that outlines how to utilize them, how to access them, and being very intentional about that is going to really be a game changer for us.
The plan also aims to identify the most at-risk North Carolinians and ensure intervention methods are available. Switzer tells News 13 the comprehensive plan will assist boots-on-ground efforts locally here in the mountains.
It means there is going to be more resources available, and that's always a good thing. It's an indicator that more funding will go to support that. That all goes hand in hand as we can get more people out and deploy more staff into the community to talk about mental health.
The North Carolina Suicide Prevention Action Plan will have a final review in 2025, and for a list of mental health resources here in the mountains, head over to WLOS.com.
Tonight, a group of parents bonded by grief gathering outside the Buncombe County Courthouse in an effort to raise awareness for gun violence. As News 13's Samir Nafsi reports, these parents are using their personal tragedies to bolster change.
Mothers and fathers coming together in Pack Square to demand more attention be brought to the gun violence epidemic here in the city, many of whom who've lost children due to these senseless acts.
It needed to just really pull the guns off the streets, period.
Hand by hand.
Father God.
Families connected by tragedy.
These kids ain't even gonna have time to heal because they too busy losing friends and loved ones, saying RIP. They don't have too many, they haven't had time to heal.
Senseless acts of gun violence striking home.
I don't have a problem with the guns, I just have a problem with the people who's using them.
Javelin Duncan and Michelle Root, just 2 mothers impacted by gun violence. Root's son, 36-year-old Jamel Root, was shot and killed in Charlotte, North Carolina earlier this year.
It was just painful, it was hurtful. I wouldn't want parents to go through the experience that I went through.
And Duncan's son, 17-year-old Taylon McAlpin, was murdered in November of 2020.
But when I got that news, I died. A part of me died that day too.
Their heartbreak now channeled into making a difference, using their stories to catch the attention of lawmakers.
We're trying to get the guns off the streets.
Meanwhile, the city of Asheville police saying despite staffing levels being down by more than 40%, gun violence remains a top priority. Writing, quote, Asheville Police Department takes violent crimes very seriously, explaining a number of these violent crimes could be solved with greater support from the community.
When you kill somebody, when you take somebody's life, you don't only kill that person, you also kill family members. It's a pain we can't explain.
And Duncan says she plans on hosting the Hands Down Enough rally until leaders take action.